So moving out is definitely something that everybody experiences eventually, whether it be at an early age, before 18, after 18, 20s, etc. There are a couple of things that you should, as you get older, it starts to become more natural. The things that when you're younger, well, you rely on so many things, it becomes like a must or a part of your teen where like you don't think about it when it's not there, but then you start to hurt when it's not even there. But anyways, it's a bit hard to explain. I think it'll make sense once I get. Moving out is definitely an idea that everybody should consider, especially if you already have your a well-paying job, if you're tired of living with the family, if you want privacy, etc. It's something that is expected of you once you turn a certain age. I think after 25, 26, 27, it starts to become, you start to get asked why are you still living with it? And I think it starts to become more and more of an issue in terms of how people judge you when you're like in your 30s and still live. I mean, at the same time, it's a bit harder in today's economy, right? It's harder to get a job. It's harder to afford the lifestyle that you want to have. You could live a minimal lifestyle. You could live below your means. It's just hard when things are getting so damn expensive. And me personally, I'm moving out. I've been independent for a while in terms of going abroad and living, traveling, etc. And now I'm starting to see how to where should I live in my own city and be without the worry of broke, or I want to live anywhere where I live. And it's hard because there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So the couple of things that you should consider before moving out is definitely area and its price. Safety is always a concern. The area has a lot to do with it, and of course its price. The safer, the nicer, obviously that has its own higher price. So you are going to have to take that under consideration. Whether in house, whether it be a house or an apartment. Ideally, however, if you're just starting out, you wouldn't really care as much of the area or how safe it is. Maybe you're more concerned into price of the apartment as long as it's close to work or school. Both make sense. I do understand, however, people want to focus on the price and lower the price by sharing it. And I get it. Instead of covering 2K by yourself, you want to divide it up by 3, or even just the more people you add into that space, the less privacy that you have and the more points of friction that you can have, especially if it's somebody that is just an asshole or doesn't see a lot of things eye to eye like yourself, or they can just be living nice. It's just hard. You can live by yourself provided that you have these other things in consideration. How close are you to work? How much time do you have to dedicate to going grocery shop, socialize, work, and how comfortable are you being by yourself? And that's very important, because when you live by yourself, it starts to become more interesting in one way, the way where you start trying to see where to dedicate your time to. Dedicate most of your time at work, dedicate most of your time playing video games, dedicate most of your time into other things like gym, etc. My thing is learning how to dedicate your time once you start living, because before you can easily distract yourself with whatever, because you have your family right there. It'll be easy to talk to them and avoid having to, if you want to procrastinate, you have someone to speak to. When you have roommates, that they are in their own lives too, and so maybe it wouldn't be as simple to talk with them unless they're super cool. Living by yourself, however, you want to know how to dedicate your time to whatever that is best for your priority, or you want to dedicate your time to screw around. The point of the second thing that you should consider is knowing where to dedicate. Move out, you have a lot of space, you're always alone, which is fine. I want to continue working on certain things that I know will add or move the needle towards my goals, so it just gets hard. The third thing you should consider is the cost of your living expenses, right? This kind of ties into the first one. The third thing is always be ready to balance how much time and how much money you're going to dedicate to certain things, because you are going to live in a tight budget if you don't earn as much. And even if you do, lifestyle creep is a thing. If you continue to keep buying things, you're not gonna have enough to save, wealth stalls, and none of these are good signs. So budgeting is very important. Try to keep your money, track your money. What I do is I open up an Excel file and I start putting numbers in there. I organize it by location, activity, price, dates, and any comments, and I create a little simple pivot table, not a dashboard. I think it's a bit too much, or maybe I should, maybe I could if I gained enough data. Always understanding how much have you spent, what percentage of your budget has been exhausted, especially within the month, and adjust. And that's the most important part. You want to adjust if you are able to make it at the end. So I'm trying out a spot here in LA. I live in downtown right now, so it's cool because if I want to, practice social life, dating, whatever, there are a lot of good spots nearby that I can visit. There's rooftops I can go to. There are restaurants that's nearby. There's coffee shops I can hang out at. There are good places where I can spend a good time and try to not spend as much money, because after a while it starts to become expensive. But the good thing is that there are places you can go to. There are places where you can meet people. There's places where you can spend your time, whether it be on your laptop, whether it be going read book. The idea is that you have space, the clarity, and the accessibility, because nothing that far from where I'm at. The negative that I've seen already is a lot of walking, but then again, that's kind of cool. I like walking. It's more of a give and a take there. The main negative, however, is the apartment where I'm in is surrounded by not so many good things. So I do have to walk maybe like 2 blocks, 3 blocks, but these blocks are pretty long because it's we're in downtown. Maybe like 2 blocks minimum, and then I get to be in a nicer area where a lot more respectable people. But when I head back, I try to avoid all that crap that you see that's not good. That's the one thing I'm not liking about the area, like immediate area, like block area. That's I'm not liking that. But luckily, I'm like 2 blocks away from being in a good, decent. So luckily, proximity to the stuff that I can be at, and being a safe space to do my work, etc. It's not far, but if I walk outside right now, then it starts to look sketch. I should be used to it. I'm from LA, but at the same time, like you don't want to be surrounded by that, or you just don't want to see them. So these are my thoughts and experiences on moving out. I'm comfortable being independent because I've done this routine in the past abroad. Now I'm trying my hand at it with here in the States. I've shared so far certain things that I keep in mind when I'm living alone. To recap, budgeting is important, and how to dedicate your time, things that matter. How to choose.